What's up, everybody? Picture 1491. Two worlds, neither one knowing the other exists. In a single century, they collide and reshape the entire planet. This is APUSH Unit 1, 1491 to 67. Here's what you're locking in. The diverse peoples already living in the Americas, why Europeans crossed the ocean, and the Columbian Exchange that changed life on both sides forever. Stick with me to the very end, and I'll show you the single fastest way to lock all of this in before exam day. Let's get into it. First thing the College Board wants you to know. Before 1492, the Americas were not empty, and there was no single native culture. Millions of people, wildly diverse societies, each shaped by its environment. Watch the pattern. In the southwest, peoples like the Pueblo used irrigation to farm maize in dry land. On the Great Plains, tribes were largely nomadic, following the buffalo. In the northeast, the Iroquois farmed and built powerful political confederations. In the Pacific Northwest, rich fishing meant permanent villages. The big idea, and its easy points. Native societies adapted to their land. So why did Europeans suddenly cross the Atlantic? 3 words, memorize them. God, gold, and glory. They wanted to spread Christianity, get rich off Asian trade, and win national prestige. Here's the problem. The Ottoman Empire controlled the land routes to Asia, so goods got expensive. Europe needed a sea route. New tech made it possible. The caravel, a faster ship, plus the magnetic compass and the astrolabe for navigation. Portugal led the way around Africa. Then Spain funded Christopher Columbus, who, looking for Asia, landed in the Caribbean in 1492. Columbus kicked off the single most important concept in this whole unit, the Columbian Exchange. Lock this one in. It's on the exam every year. It's the massive transfer of plants, animals, people, and diseases between the New World and the Old World. Going one way, Americas to Europe, nutritious crops like corn, potatoes, and tomatoes, which made Europe's population boom, plus tobacco and cacao. Going the other way, Europe to the Americas, horses, which transformed plains tribes, plus pigs, cattle, wheat, and sugar. One swap reshaped diets and economies across the entire globe. But that exchange had a dark side. Here it is. Europeans unknowingly carried diseases, smallpox, measles, and influenza, and Native Americans had zero immunity. The result was catastrophic. In many areas, up to 90% of the native population died. Historians call it the Great Dying. Now follow the cause and effect, because this is what the exam tests. 2 huge consequences. 1. It made the land far easier for Europeans to conquer. 2. It created a massive labor shortage, and that shortage sent Europeans hunting for a new source of workers. Watch how the Spanish solved that labor problem. First, the encomienda system. The crown granted colonists the right to demand labor and tribute from native peoples. It was brutal, essentially slavery. As natives died from disease and abuse, the Spanish turned increasingly to enslaved Africans, kicking off the Atlantic slave trade. Then, to organize their diverse colony, they built the casta system, a strict racial hierarchy. Picture a ladder. Spanish-born peninsulares at the very top, then American-born Creoles, then mixed-race mestizos and mulattoes, with natives and enslaved Africans at the bottom. Contact wasn't just disease and labor. It was a clash of cultures, and the exam loves this. The Spanish pushed to convert native peoples to Catholicism, often by force, but natives frequently resisted or blended the new faith with their own traditions. That tension sparked a famous moral debate back in Spain. On one side, Bartolomé de las Casas, a priest, argued Native Americans were fully human, with souls and rights, and condemned their abuse. On the other, his opponent argued they were naturally inferior and meant to be ruled. This debate over the humanity of native peoples would echo for centuries. And that's APUSH Unit 1. Run it back. Diverse native societies, Europe's motives and technology, the Columbian Exchange, the Great Dying, the Spanish labor and caste systems, and the clash of cultures. You just covered the whole thing. But here's the truth. Watching is not the same as knowing. To actually lock it in, head over to AIM5 and practice Unit 1 for free, with instant feedback on every question. Links below. Now go get that 5, and I'll see you in Unit 2.